Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Bias Sports Talk. As you can see, we are coming to you straight off the course. Me and Milan are on the road to the PGA Tour, so give us a year. We're making some good progress over there.
We're getting there, man. Shout out to me, Seven Woods.
AKA Seven Woods. How you think today went?
Today was a solid round. We had a few pars each. I thought we played pretty good. Not as good as I had a PR yesterday at Westchester. Win 9 pars yesterday, plus 11. It's a new record. I beat my record by 3 strokes. But I thought all in all it was a good day. You know, sometimes when you're on the road to success like we are, there's going to be days where you're tired and worn out.
The road to Tiger Woods 99.
Exactly. But I think you know that's how you become great. So we'll see it, you know.
On the road to greatness.
Hell
Gino,
yeah.
how was Top Golf? He got his first swings in as a golfer.
Man. I was maxing out around like 130 on the velo. That's all I was worried about. It was good. I could build on it for sure, but I already qualified for Augusta next year. That's really all I care about.
Oh, shit.
He got his Masters fit on already.
What?
With the bust down. Come on, I see you, boy.
Hey, I can't rock the Dembele jersey every day, but he already scored the goal.
Hey, he already qualified for Augusta with the drive, chip, and putt, the 10-year-olds and up. You know, he's working his way up there. So, Yep, getting into it. Let's get into the draft from the past weekend. The Pittsburgh Steelers come away with a quarterback. It wasn't who we thought it would be, but Will Howard to the Steelers is looking like the future of the franchise. How about it?
I mean, whenever you get a quarterback that has the same measurables as Josh Allen, who won the MVP last year and who threw for 4,000 yards and won a natty last year, can't be mad at it, especially when you get the value of the 6th round. It's not like we reached and did something dumb. We let it come to us and didn't act reckless, let's call it.
Because his player comp is Blake Bortles, so there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, Gino was definitely hyping up Will Howard 2 weeks ago for sure. I'm sure that's what was happening.
Hey, man, I'm sure we'll get to it, but during the draft, you got to draft needs. And when you don't need a backup quarterback, so you just get him in the 6th round.
Yeah.
They got dent heads back
in 2 or 3 years, Will, when you're selling insurance, if you want to come hop on and if you want to hop on the pod and tell us about your experience. Yeah, I mean, you already know where I stand. I think I said it on episode 3. Y'all know where I stand on Will Howard. All I know is against Michigan, he had 171 yards and 2 picks and lost 13-10. So all them fast receivers and all that throwing the ball didn't do shit when he played a real defense. And
that is a fact.
And guess what? The defenses he plays in the NFL are going to be much worse than that. They didn't make the Big Ten championship. They wouldn't have even got a natty if it wasn't for the new playoff format.
Michigan.
Yeah, I know.
He did not.
That's who he didn't.
Everybody else.
That's who he didn't beat.
Go blue, baby.
Hey, beat everybody else.
They lost. They had 2 losses actually. Who else did they lose to?
I think
Oregon during the regular season,
loss,
and then they beat them in the. They barely lost Oregon.
On to other late round quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders goes from 1st round to about the 5th with the 2nd selection at quarterback for the Browns.
Shedeur Sanders, what a guy. Some would say perfect timing. Some would say absolutely perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
The timing wasn't perfect, but when your competition is Kenny Franchise, Old Man Flacco, and Dylan Gabriel, who's 29.
The Browns already chose to not pick up the 5th-year option on Kenny Pickett. So
hey, he went from franchise to he gone.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, let's get into it. I got a couple takes on it.
Yeah.
My first take is if your tape is that good and you're going 5th round, quarterbacks next year are completely screwed because his tape was amazing last year.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, the tape had nothing to do with it, buddy. It's all about those interviews, and from everyone that has said it, they were shit. So,
well, they're saying the rumor is that Dable and the Giants sent him some install package for him to like study before their meeting or whatever, and I guess he wasn't well versed in it, and Dable called him out on it, and I guess Shedeur didn't like that shit.
Yeah.
So Shedeur did what he did to the CSU coach.
Perfect timing.
He said, "You see this AP, bitch?" But in all seriousness,
it's in all seriousness. Sorry.
No, you good. That's my fault.
In all seriousness, he didn't go on Gruden's quarterback camp. He didn't throw at the combine. All he did was his pro day, and then he shows up to the combine, do interviews, and acts like the Step Brothers scene You know what I mean? like he did job interviews saying, "I don't care what that." You know, you gotta handle job interviews
Yeah, he
when
did.
it comes down
He
to
only
it.
did top 5 interviews, and they said, "Yeah, you're not going top 5, bud.
Apparently
Maybe
not.
top 5 rounds, but not top 5 picks."
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I got a lot of, you can do a lot of conspiracy shit there. I think at the end of the day, like, Shador is definitely better than a 5th round QB.
100%.
Taking all that away, there's definitely been dudes with worse character issues. I don't see anyone on Arch Manning's dick when he opted out of NCAA because he wanted more bread. Like, the Mannings are going to do the same shit. They're going to pick and choose what they want to do. Arch ain't throwing shit until pro day, like I guarantee you, and it'll be a totally different outcome. That being said, though, shout out to Arch and the Mannings. That being said, though, like, I don't know. I think that's what happens when you do a little too much. Shout out to Shador, but like, I think he overplayed his hand. I just hope he actually gets a shot. That's my biggest thing. Is
nah, he's gonna get a shot.
does he though, or is
He's
it?
gonna get a shot.
I mean, it might not come week 1. It might come week 17.
Seems like they wanted Gabriel. Apparently,
I think that's what the GM was going with. But to me, it seems like 5th round Shador is still there. The owner was like, "Dude, what the fuck are we doing? Like, go get Shador right now."
Like,
They
what do you-
traded up
yeah.
to get him in the 5th. So I was like, "Yeah." It seems like that was Haslam stepping in, like, "Go get this guy, please." Like, what
Facts.
the fuck are we doing?
well, and I think he was about to go to Pittsburgh if he doesn't get picked up by the Browns.
That round for sure, I believe.
and they
so.
weren't having him going to a division rival.
That's probably why they picked up Gabriel too, because a team picking next was probably going to take him, so they had to snag him, and then they had to get Shador before Pittsburgh did.
Brett said rumor is that Eagles were going to take him, and they jumped.
that
I
was-
saw that as
But
well.
I'm
yeah.
just, and I what, to be Jalen's backup?
Yeah.
And because I mean Jalen's not that old, right? So
Bro,
would he have
Jalen ain't
ever-
go-
He's a
Jalen
running
ain't going
quarterback.
anywhere, bro.
He's a running
Yeah,
quarterback,
he ain't
though, so
going
there's
anywhere.
a risk.
like for what?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Like what's
I'll tell you that.
he says we're a QB factory, yeah, but if the QB is not playing, what's the point of that?
Yeah. What was crazy is the prank call that was made by Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbricht's son. Called in to, well, he didn't call himself, but got the number from an open iPad from his dad. Not a good look for Jeff Ulbricht going into his first year as the defensive coordinator with the Falcons.
All I gotta say about that is 20-year-old kids are not the smartest.
Not the
Especially,
smartest.
I wasn't mad about all that, but why are you gonna film yourself for clout? So hopefully he gets kicked off his football team. Hopefully he gets all the repercussions. Because if you're gonna do that and be
Yeah,
dumb
he
enough to
deserves
film
it. That's
yourself
crazy.
on the internet for clout, like get out of here, bro.
Gino's laying down the fucking law.
Lay down the law, boy.
Gino's not having any of that foolishness.
I mean,
we're
he
telling
could
you
have
that
done
now.
it with the boys and been funny, and then it's not that big of a deal because a lot of other players got pranked as well. But the other people didn't film themselves
Well,
for
yeah,
clout.
that's-
Like,
I
you're not
agree.
cool, buddy.
What are you doing snitching on yourself,
Yeah,
too?
it's
Like,
crazy.
that's crazy work. You think people are going to identify you, like, immediately? It was jokes, too. It was funny. And, like, the fact they went to Ole Miss makes it low-key even funnier. I hate to be like that, but, like, that, because Dart got picked where everyone thought he would go. But, no, he's just a dumbass. Like, why snitch on yourself?
Yeah, that
if
was
you never
crazy.
film that, no one ever knows.
Yeah.
But I got a stat of the day for you guys.
Uh-oh.
68 fifth-round quarterbacks have been taken in the live ball era. Guess how many have made the Pro Bowl?
Only one.
Only one. Guess who it was?
Mark Brunell.
Yep.
Yeah. On to Mel Kiper's meltdown with Reese Davis. Reese Davis had to calm him down a bit because Mel Kiper was freaking out. He had Shador as the #1 quarterback on his draft board.
That boy's crashing out.
As Shador continued
Oh my
to slip
God.
round by round, Mel is just getting angrier and angrier. It was hilarious to see. I can't lie.
I mean, that's like why he's on the show, to crash out. Like, just why Colin's on TV, because he's so stupid that people listen to him to, like, hear how dumb he is.
Yeah.
Mel's on there to crash out.
They listen to us for real serious news.
Yeah, Collins Cowherd said to trade the entire franchise for Shador, and he ends up going 5th round. So-
Colin was literally screaming last offseason, trade first 2-round picks, TJ Watt, George Pickens,
Yeah.
to get Shador. He's the
Insane.
dumbest person in sports, hands down.
Insane. With a good trade during the draft is #2, the Jaguars select Travis Hunter. That is a huge
I like that.
get for them. They trade away a 1st-round pick because the GM came out and said, we expect him to be a 2-way player, so we don't care. We're getting 2 players in one. You can have that pick. That was he gave a huge speech as well during the introduction. Are
we not going to talk about that?
What
he's got to chill, dude. What's
no, he definitely was way too in depth with that whole fucking the intro. It was a bit crazy. I know Travis Hunter was sitting there like, all right, bro, like let's get to the point.
I watched his YouTube vlog too, Travis Hunter's, and like they kept telling him like, all right, we need that workout. He was like, yeah, bro, all I do is play football and fish. Like, I'm good. Like, and they that GM is crazy. And then the coach with the Duval thing, right when he got hired.
Hey, hell of a move, though.
They're cringy, bro.
Hell of a move from Gladstone in his first year as a GM to go out.
I like it a lot, bro. You got to try to win.
Gangsta.
In Duval.
Duval? Question mark. But yeah, no, that's a good one. They give up a first next year. I mean, I guess, the argument is if Travis can be a premier two-way player, if you get a corner and a receiver who's like both all pro in one, then in theory he's worth 2 picks, right? Because he's like getting 2, fuck him. And I think too, like you need some attention over there, man. Last time they got some attention, who was the Ohio State coach? Who was the head coach?
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, Urban Meyer was twerking on 18-year-olds.
Hey, yo!
So it's nice to see the Jags getting something going. Duval.
Hey, with the third pick, Abdul Carter goes to the Giants. Their line is looking absolutely insane.
Second best line in the league.
Yeah, definitely the first best line in the league.
Second best line.
They have Brian Burns, Sexy Dexy, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. They also add Darius Alexander, the defensive tackle out of Toledo, and I believe the 3rd or 4th round. So they are looking pretty deep at that position. They also go ahead and trade into the back of the first round to go select their franchise quarterback, Jackson Dart. They get finessed, in my eyes, by the Rams. They give up a first-round pick for next year's draft where Arch Manning is the prize pick. So they are betting
stupid.
They are betting on the Giants being terrible again, and with that pick,
well, I mean,
go from Stafford to Arch. Shit.
I mean, they didn't even trade their first round pick for a starter. They traded it for a backup. Russ is starting. They already stated it. So it's just like, what are you doing? Just
he might be
a lot too little, too late. Like,
yeah, honestly, bro, Jackson Dart is not playing this year. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I mean, he might if Russ gets hurt.
He's not. Jameis will come in if Russ gets hurt.
And Russ has to get hurt.
Jackson Dart
has to get hurt, and Jameis has to throw 7 picks into the game.
But he's not a starter. So why are you trading for
that? Or like
person?
they're super ass going into like week 13, and they say fuck it, like we're already ass, and they like give him a couple games to like get ready for next year. I could see it. Shout out to Jackson Dart. The mullet was gangsta. I never seen bro with the helmet off. Pause. So he definitely seems like a bro. But yeah. I don't know. It's like Gino said, bro. Too little, too late. I think they're over there trying to save face. It's funny. I feel bad for Dable because he's like, I handpicked my QB. I'm like, buddy, I don't know if he's going to be your QB. Even if he starts, you might not be there.
Yeah, another year like last year, you might not be there.
Know about all that.
The only thing Dable is good at is giving like crazy quarterback interviews in the combine. Like he can't coach a team to save his life.
Give me Z combo X right left.
Say it back to me. Say it back to me.
What do you call trips on the left in your formation?
Like, bro, I don't fucking know.
Nothing low-key was funnier than watching him interview all those QBs last year and get excited about all of them and get none of them.
None of them.
No Jaden.
Not a single one.
I fucking love these.
Not
dudes.
a single
They're
one.
Not getting shit.
Yeah.
Also, we definitely have to point this out. His son, 8 hours before the draft, posted a Jackson Dart highlight reel. The same son that told him to draft Jaden Daniels. I think he listened to his fucking son finally. So, hey, if that works out.
Oh, Shane the GM.
Yeah, the GM. Yeah, remember his son last year was like, yo, get Jaden Daniels. His son 8 hours before
for sure
the
told
draft,
him, go get Jackson Dart.
Yeah, on his IG story, there was just a Jackson Dart highlight reel. All of a sudden, 8 hours later, his dad trades a first-round pick for him. So we know who's running the show over there in fucking New York, that's for sure.
With the first overall pick, the most, or the least talked about number 1 pick in history is Cam Ward. Is about as easy as it gets. You already know who you're taking. Absolute dog from a 0-star out of high school. He goes on to become the number 1 pick from Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami. He said, I play American football. When Shador asked him, yo, we should make a song together. He said, when you look my name up, it says Cam Ward. American football. I play football. I don't make music. That is another video that is
I fear God. I fear God.
That
boy.
is another video making its rounds around the internet, and it shows the dog in him versus what they were seeing with Shador.
A lot of them videos are going viral. That one.
lot of them.
Hindsight's 2020.
He's like, you getting water? We're not even done with the first
A lot of
drill.
them. He said, "I'm drinking Gatorade. I get paid to do this." Like,
And he said, I get paid to play football.
yeah, exactly.
He said that's why y'all got 9 wins over there. That's when Shador said, "Shut the fuck up." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he pissed it." I was like, "He made Shador mad
Oh,
as
God.
fuck."
He shouldn't have trained with him in hindsight.
Yeah, shout out to Cam Ward. I think, you know what's funny? They say he's least talked about first overall pick, and I agree with that because I think maybe like people aren't as high as him as other guys, but I also think it's because he's so undeniable. It's like, what is there to talk about? Like, he's been the first overall.
You already
pick.
knew he was going number
He's a
one.
demon.
100%.
Constantly like went up a division. You know what I mean? Pac-12, SEC, like to give himself the best competition and balled out in every situation. Shout
Give
out
me
to
a player comp.
for Cam Ward, player comp. I'm gonna go. Give me like McNabb.
I like it.
I like
Yeah,
that.
Like McNabb.
I would.
Not mad at that.
I just thought of another crazy one, but I started with Brett Favre, but more of Aaron Rodgers, more athletic, more of Aaron Rodgers, but let's just be as good as McNair, maybe. Well, Titans love right there.
Yeah, that'd be
I
sick.
like that
bro.
too.
Shout out. They're saying Warren Moonlight might let him wear.
No, he is.
he did.
Oh,
Warren
he
Moon
is. He is
allowing him to wear number
Unlike
one.
Abdul.
Unlike Lawrence Taylor said, Abdul wanted to wear number 56, which is retired by the Giants for one of the greatest players of all time. But he said, go make a name for yourself. Get your own number.
Said, loser, get your own number.
He said, I'm rooting for you. I want you to be there, but
You ain't
do it with
touching
your
my
own. You ain't touching my number.
You seen
So,
them glasses? He's like, I'm cool.
yeah.
They're a little too rectangular.
Yeah. On to a crazy move at 10. The Bears decide to take Colston Loveland as the number 1 tight end off the board. Hey, perfectly fine with me because we go ahead and get exactly who I've been saying the entire time. Tyler Warren falls to the Colts at 14. What a perfect place to be. Exactly where he said he wanted to be. Hey, things are looking up. It's not going to be Danny Dimes. I'll tell you that right now, B. Philly. It's going to be AR making them dump off passes to Tyler Warren. He's going to be running people over. So that's what we're looking forward to next year. Things are looking up.
Yeah, shout out to Colts Nation for getting the second best tight end. in
Fuck
the
out of
draft.
here.
I'm happy
Fuck
that
outta here.
I'm happy. Brad said, is Tyler Warren going to be at QB? Maybe.
Hey, he might.
That's what I
Shit,
think.
He might be.
I'll say this. Colston's my guy. I'm a Michigan guy, so you're never going to hear me say Tyler Warren is better, even though
He is.
I can totally understand the argument, especially based on the years they had. I will say though, I wasn't that shocked by the Bears picking him, only because I feel like he fits kind of what they want to do with
For sure.
Caleb a little. Caleb, right?
If it's the offense,
I'm
he's
faded. I
more
forgot
of
his
like
name.
a Sam Laporta type tight end.
Yeah, like I
So-
think with Warren, like he's a little bit more like rough. The route running is not as crisp. He's kind of like a Gronk style,
Literally.
get open. Yeah, just like, and I think with Caleb, you want dudes that can like run and out and like tiptoe on the sideline, shit like that. So I think he just works for what they're building.
So I didn't watch a lot of Loveland tape or Michigan games because they weren't in the premier games last year. So give me one thing that he excels at.
He is a
Maybe if you watch the national championship in 2023.
Literally, Sam Laporta. He is a great route running receiving tight end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
he can block, but he's going out there to catch the ball.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, really good route running, crisp, like really shifty, is gonna like great hands and like is gonna break a tackle.
like damn near a receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I already knew all that stuff. I was just trying to break it down for the viewers. Sometimes we
Oh,
already
yeah,
know,
he
know
already-
so much that
he already knew
we
all
gotta
that
dumb
stuff.
it down a little bit. We forget
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
everyone doesn't watch sports.
Yeah,
every single second.
he already knew all that stuff for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Colston though. Go Blue. Nice to see two Michigan boys in the top 10. Shout out to Mason.
Yeah. At 6, Ashton Genty goes to the Raiders, becoming in total contract the second highest running back behind Saquon, which is absolutely crazy with the lack of offensive line depth that they have. But I understand the move. Can he propel them into, I wouldn't necessarily say a playoff team, but
I have the perfect breakdown.
Let's hear
so
it.
is what he gives them is an instant starter, fills an instant need. I honestly think the Raiders had the best draft out of any single team.
Crazy.
Even though this Genty pick was not great value. But what it does is fill a need. I feel like all of their picks filled needs. Their next pick, they got Jack Beck, starting receiver. Their next pick, they got a cornerback that ran a 4.38 dog. That's a Pete Carroll type guy. So I just love their draft. And even though, can I get into like the running back comparison? Is what I think the Raiders should have done if they really wanted a running back is trade back and get Omarion Hampton. Because if you look at the stats, Caleb Johnson on explosive run rates, which qualifies as 20-yard runs, Caleb Johnson's over 6%. Genty's under 6%. And then you could say, oh, but they stacked the box against Genty. They stacked the box against Caleb Johnson 50% of the time. And I think Genty only 16% of the time. Or I got it right here, but
okay, we get it.
I just don't like the value.
Hold on,
I don't like the value.
He's turning it into a Steelers dick riding session. So yeah, we fucking understand. We don't want to hear about Caleb Johnson. We're talking about Ashton Genty.
Can I just say though? I fucking loved that breakdown with the percentages and shit, bro. I was really learning something.
Just turning into a Steelers dick riding session. I don't want to hear that shit.
I have an opinion on Genty, the Genty pick. I feel bad for him that he's on the Raiders. Upon further review, I'm not as high on him as I think I was pre-draft. I don't know. All the arguments that people make are starting to kind of like get in my head, like FBS team, 30 plus carries a game, like explosive game against Oregon, cool. But like I personally was not super high on the Oregon defense. Like, I don't know. He seems a little undersized to me. What does give me hope is that he's with Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll's going to find ways to utilize him really well. But I am a little bit nervous about that pick. And I just think, like, I don't know. We'll see if there's a new culture, man. I'm not high on, like, the Raiders as a team or as an organization. But there's been a lot of changes this year. Pete Carroll, Brady coming into ownership. So maybe there's just something I'm missing. But they're, like, I don't know. I just think... I don't know. I
think there's something you're missing.
I don't think that moves the needle, and I don't think Geno respectfully is threatening, or that pass offense is going to be threatening enough for him to have that much space.
Yeah.
So like, I hope they don't run that fucking boy into the ground. Like Geno better have a good year, or it's not. It's going to be rough over there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think Genty's bad. I think he's really, really good, but it's one of the running back was the second deepest position group. So why are you going to draft it at 6 when if you want a running back so bad, trade back with a team that needs a need?
The reason would be because he is a blue chip player and is way better than the other running backs.
Way better than Omarion Hampton and Caleb Johnson?
Yeah, that would be the reasoning behind it.
We'll see.
Was Caleb Johnson up for running back or up for Heisman, or you just keep saying Caleb Johnson because he went to the Steelers?
I just like his underlying metrics.
You had no clue who Caleb Johnson was 2 weeks ago. He just went to the Steelers, and now you're a Caleb Johnson guy. So
Caleb Johnson was training with Aaron Rodgers about 3 weeks ago. So
yeah, and you brought that up when?
I already knew it was going to happen.
Okay.
I just didn't want to let y'all know.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, that's so Geno.
Yeah.
He saw in the future.
Yeah, for sure saw the future. Onto a player that most thought would be a top 10 talent that falls to the second round. Will Johnson ends up with the Cardinals at the 47th pick. There are some reports coming out that he has some knee issues that could stop him from having a long NFL career, so a lot of teams are passing on him. It was reported that the injury or knee problem is similar to what Miles Jack went through going into the NFL, and that's why some teams passed on him. He ended up having a 7-year career, which is a good career in the NFL. Yeah, he was good, right? Yeah, it's a good career in the NFL. So would you take that chance if you were a GM on Will Johnson in the second round, knowing that he could be hindered by a knee issue?
Let's answer at the same time. 1, 2, yes.
3, absolutely.
I like how Geno said yes before 3.
I mean, it's just a yes. I mean, he slid way too far. He's going to be the next Patrick Peterson.
If you ask me, that might be to steal the draft.
There's a couple.
And let's just say, obviously.
I mean, realistically, it could be Shedeur. So
yeah, facts. I just think Will, before there was any injury risk, was like a guaranteed top 10 guy. In my opinion, was the best DB in the draft. I don't know how he wasn't.
I mean, other than Travis Hunter.
Oh, well, Travis is special.
I mean,
That's different.
If Travis
play more
only played
offense.
corner, though, if he wasn't dual threat, I think that Will would have gone higher than Travis.
Crazy.
But that's, that's another conversation. But, yeah, I mean, dude, there's always going to be injury risks with a lot of dudes, right? But I think I did hear that they're also saying that, like, he might have some turf toe shit going on as well, and that's apparently, like, super rough. Yeah. I don't know. I think he'll be okay. That's a good place to go play corner. I don't really think that's a great place to go play football. It's a good place to go play corner. So shout out to Will, and he gets to link up with some of his homies, and him and Marvin Harrison are on the same team now, which is cool because they used to go at it.
That's crazy.
So that's pretty dope. I seen Marvin Harrison posted a picture of them on his story and just put the handshake and tagged him, and then Will responded with the handshake. It was like them trucing kind of shit. I was like, okay, that's badass. So there's a lot of cool stuff.
That's hard.
Yeah.
With another player that was projected a little higher than what he was taken is Jihad Campbell. Goes to the Eagles. The Eagles trade up one pick with the Chiefs. I don't know why, but probably thought someone would end up taking him. He was a top 15 prospect before the injury concerns. Ends up at 31. Still goes in the first round. Another hell of a pick from Howie. Just keeps taking them SEC boys. That's how you do it. That's how you build a squad out.
Georgia, Bama,
Ole Miss,
Bama line, Florida, Georgia, whatever.
Florida, Georgia line, whatever. Yeah, man. I mean, Howie just continues to do it the right way. Keep getting those guys.
I'm just happy they missed on Mike Green. He was a few picks away from going to the Eagles in the second round.
So you're happy that he went to your arch rival, the Ravens?
We ain't worried about them.
Yeah, okay. Sure you're not.
I'm worried about the Ravens.
Yeah, okay. Haven't they made it further than you in the playoffs the last 8 years or however long it's been? So I'm pretty sure you got something to be worried about. The Bengals take Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, how many rings do we got?
The Bengals.
Six.
Yeah,
Six
we're
rings?
on to the Bengals.
Okay.
The Bengals are on to Shamar Stewart, who they draft.
Don't get me started on the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals did not have a single meeting with Shamar Stewart, yet decide to take him.
I don't think I even said it on the pod. I was like, I'd love to get Shamar Stewart. I didn't think he's going to be available.
It's just the fact that they didn't have a meeting with him. He was surprised himself.
I'm surprised Nolan went before Shamar Stewart.
Let me bring
Nolan.
this full circle for you boys. Ravens were having a sick draft. Browns were having a sick draft because they had so many picks. Steelers didn't have that many picks, so we couldn't do much. We had a sick draft, though.
Terrible.
The Browns were having
awful
a sick draft. They took
you guys had an awful draft. You took two D linemen and an edge that you don't need, and Will Howard, who's going to literally be selling insurance in 3 years.
I can explain you that later, but let me just get to the Bengals real quick. They took a DN and a linebacker. They already have two DNs and two linebackers. So you guys took two backups in the first 2 rounds?
Well, we might not have Trey next year.
And also your linebacker you're going to trade, but you're just going to trade those.
We needed someone to go with Logan. Our defense was ass last year. Joe Burrow led the league in like every fucking QB category, and Jamar Chase got a triple crown, and we did not make the playoffs because our defense could not stop shit.
I know. Shout out the Bengals for having the worst draft in the AFC North.
That's nuts.
We were looking shaky, but then you guys came in and helped us out.
That would definitely be the Steelers.
What's the linebacker from Clemson that we got? What's his name? Man, shout out Barrett Carter, bro. It's fucking
Barrett Carter is nice.
Barrett Carter is a demon, and
start.
Shamar is a demon too. And now there's a lot of people talk about Shamar's like sack rate, but like also like if you look at his disruption rate, it was insane. He was like he caused so many other people to get sacks. Like he's a fucking elite prospect. We got the DC from Notre Dame, so we got a new DC this year. I think that
Golden.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of trust in him because I was curious. I thought just because fucking Geno Stone is so ass, I thought we were going to take Malachi Starks there because I did not think he would be I didn't think he'd be available at that pick. So I'm super curious why we didn't really draft any secondary. But
you got Geno Stone, don't worry.
Yeah, in Jordan battle, we're fucked. But I'm thinking maybe the DC is like, hey, like I like these dudes and I can scheme them. I don't know. That's my argument.
The only thing I could think of is they're going to trade Trey for Jalen Ramsey because you guys need a cornerback.
What?
And then you're going to trade that linebacker
Logan Wilson
on your squad right now and then slide that rookie in.
I don't hate the Trey for Jalen Ramsey.
I mean, otherwise,
It's not gonna. Jalen Ramsey is not going to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
bro.
Jalen Ramsey.
I will tell you that.
maybe they
only
get
playing in Premier
maybe
location.
they
I will
get
tell you
the
that right
the
now.
Packers
From
guy.
LA to Miami.
Yeah, like, he's not going to
The
Cincinnati.
Packers got a cornerback on the block.
Who, Jair?
Yes.
Jair's available.
So
For
you're-
Trey?
What? You're gonna swap him?
Yeah, that's why it doesn't make sense.
I don't hate
I'm just
Jair.
trying
You're
to
gonna
figure-
trade. You're gonna trade Trey, who has the most sacks in like the last 2 or 3 years, for Jair Alexander, who can't play more than 6 games.
No, I'm just trying to make sense of it. That's all I'm trying
Well,
to do.
that didn't make sense. So
No, their draft didn't make sense, is what I'm stating.
yeah. Well, onto a draft that did make sense.
We need to get a ring in here. You boys need to just run a fair one.
onto a
one of these days.
draft that did make sense. Hey, shout out to Vrabes. Vrabes goes out there and has a hell of a draft. Gets Drake May, a tackle at 4, and Will Campbell. The kid was crying, snot coming out his nose, saying, "I'm gonna protect this guy with my life." I'm a Will Campbell guy. I
I'm
can't-
fighting
ask
guy
Jaden
to
Daniels.
protect them
I am
with
a Will
everything.
Campbell guy. I cannot lie.
Yeah, he's hard.
Yeah, he is a dog.
Yeah, shout out to Will Campbell. Also, this is a good time to say shout out to my niece for committing to LSU.
Shout out!
You know what I mean?
Hey!
Shout out Belly. Yeah.
Tigers.
Shout out. I'm a Bengals guy, so I'm rocking with the LSU gang. So I thought
Yeah.
Will Campbell was great value there, and I think it's sick when you have a rookie QB to go get him like a tackle
Hell
around
yeah.
his age that they can like kind of
Hell yeah.
grow together in the league. I think that's important for a QB to kind of have his offensive line guy he can
Yeah.
grow with for the next 10 years.
And in the second round, they go ahead and get Travion Henderson. They already have Ramondre, but Travion Henderson, he might be the sleeper of the draft, even though he went in the second round. Dude is an absolute dog, can do everything, run, catch, block, literally everything.
Give the viewers a player comp to simplify it.
To
for us.
Travion Henderson,
Would you say like Zeke out of Ohio State?
I mean, yeah, he's probably faster though, but that's not a bad comparison because
I'd say high end. I don't hate like a JT comparison that much.
yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at like a Jonathan.
Yeah, I
Taylor.
can see that.
I could see that.
Jonathan
And
Taylor.
I fucking hate the Buckeyes, but Travion Henderson and Judkins are nasty. I think they both were steals. Yeah, I agree with you, Cole. I think especially in that system, like over on the Patriots, bro, Travion in that offense, that's gonna be interesting for sure. Him and Ramondre. Ramondre be hurt, so
For sure.
yeah, Patriots definitely snapped. Shout out to Vrabes, man. He definitely is making the Patriots kind of swaggy.
But
Like they're kind of cool this year.
oh yeah,
don't they?
Braves is sick, bro. He'll be on
Like-
podcasts. He'll be wilding out. He's a sick guy, bro.
Yeah, he's a real football guy. Oh, I heard. That's what we should talk about. I heard for Will Campbell's visit, Vrabes apparently put on pads because he
Tag him or
wanted.
what?
No, he put
Yeah.
on pads because he was like, I'm not drafting anyone on the line unless I feel how they block
Yeah.
or something. He's a.
I mean, he's a Hall of Famer,
He's
right?
a Hall of
Ohio
Fame
fuck,
linebacker.
bruh.
If anyone fucking knows, but he's like, I want to see how you would block me. So I was like, oh shit, that's shout out to
Yeah,
Vrabes,
and
bro.
apparently he put him on his ass.
Oh,
that,
word.
That was apparently Will
Oh,
Campbell
yeah,
put him on his
that's how
ass.
they drafted that
That's why they drafted him. For
Hell
sure.
yeah, you got to be bold as fuck to do that.
Yeah,
too.
well, nowadays they're trying to apply the stat dog, D-O-G or D.
DAWG.
Yeah, which one are you? Because now with this NIL money, people be getting soft. Do you really want to play ball? Are you a dog or you a dog?
Yeah.
You a dog.
He's a
You gotta
dog.
be a dog. Hey, it was a hell of a draft. Shout out to all the boys that got drafted. Let's hope y'all have a hell of a career. Let's stay healthy and go out there and make some bread.
Yeah, get that money.
Get that money, get some W's, win some Super Bowls.
Let's shout out that Steelers draft pick and the good story behind that.
Which one? Oh, Harmon?
Yeah, shout out that story.
Yeah, shout out Harmon. And his mother was on life support going into the draft. He gets drafted first round. And as soon as he gets drafted, goes to the hospital to tell his mom. And she, from there, passed away. But it's
Rest
a hell
in
of a
peace.
story that he got to tell her that before
Yeah,
passing away.
there's a bright light on everything in
Yeah,
life.
for sure.
Yeah.
No, that is a hell of a story, hell of a pick.
Rest in peace.
Hopefully Harmon has a hell of a career learning from Cam Hayward going forward. He will be a dog. Don't get me wrong.
Instant starter.
Absolutely.
Definitely an instant starter.
My final draft thought is very simple. Colorado had the most receivers drafted
Facts.
out of any school.
Facts.
Who the fuck was throwing them the ball?
Yeah, facts.
That's all I want to
Hey,
say.
perfect timing.
And the Georgia receiver that is super, super fast, the Jets got for Fields, right?
Arian Smith.
Yeah, he ran like what, a 4.3?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a sleeper of the draft for me.
Yeah, it's a random pick, but all right. On to NBA playoffs. The Lakers are down 3-1.
LeBron's lost me a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not looking too good
And I
right
wasn't
now.
a LeBron fan to begin this.
Ant is out there cooking shit. Like, bro, absolutely cooking shit.
Well, when your dad's Michael Jordan, shit like that happens.
Yeah, that could be. Hey, JJ decided to make 0 subs in the second half of the last game. First time that has ever happened in NBA history.
So who's your best shooter on the bench? Gabe Vincent?
I mean, it doesn't matter. They're not playing. So
DFS, I guess, is off the bench.
yeah,
So-
I mean, yeah, bro. I don't know
Yeah.
how you go a whole half without making any subs, and we have a 40-year-old LeBron.
I mean, you get
Yeah.
desperate. You don't want to go down
I mean,
3-1.
I can-
You don't
yeah.
want to ruin my bets.
You can make an argument for either of those because I could argue like JJ, what the fuck are you doing? That was the closest thing to Darvin Ham I've ever seen you do.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I could argue that the bench ain't giving a shit.
They
and,
aren't.
And like when you have Austin Reeves not showing up, so you don't feel comfortable like taking like Luka or Braun off the floor for a period of time because usually Austin can get you a quick 12 and a
Yeah.
quarter. Like I've seen Austin so many times have 3 points in the first quarter and then 15 and a half because they give him his little 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But the boy, he can't even get the ball up the court. So yeah, I think the only thing that bugs me is I don't like when coaches like do that like, oh, let them play through the run shit.
I hate that.
Like
especially in the playoffs.
especially in the playoffs. Like now is not the time
Especially
for
when we
like
have
learning
a
moment.
40-year-old LeBron.
Like now's
Like,
not the time
bro.
for a learning moment. And shout out to Braun. I'll say this: Braun's doing everything he fucking can.
all he can.
He had that one
Luke-
game, he went crazy, but they lost. That was the Luka flu game?
Yeah, Luka flu game. Luka was sick. He knew, but
I
that's
mean,
what's
bro,
crazy.
Braun went crazy last game too until the fourth quarter. He didn't score a single point in the fourth quarter because
And-
he's played every minute of the half.
He's
It's
exhausted.
insane.
Do we want to go through like the final 3 plays that effed it? Like the Luka that didn't get called, the Ant call that got reversed, that they said
That was
LeBron
crazy.
slapped his wrist.
That was
And-
crazy.
And then Reeves
Nuts.
missed the open 3. Like,
Not to mention earlier, I don't remember exactly what time it was at, but there was a kicked ball that was a clear kicked ball for the Lakers, and they gave the ball to the Wolves. And it was
Yeah.
like, what do you
When it
mean?
went out of bounds.
Like
They
it
showed
literally,
it, too. I remember.
The ball is a direct pass, and it went out of bounds. That doesn't even make sense.
It's
Like,
impossible.
Insane.
Yeah. They
What do you boys think?
pulled out brand new camera angles for that LeBron. foul.
Literally.
I ain't never seen.
Bro, they pulled out a
live fucking view
Bro,
ever. in my
never seen
life.
that view in my life.
They
Like,
had that camera ready all of a sudden to call.
shit just came from the roof of the stadium. Like, where did this,
Like,
bro?
when did you ever see that camera? angle
Never.
ever? That shit was like almost
Bro.
in black and white. I'm like,
Literally.
did y'all go to security camera footage? Like this
Bro.
doesn't even look like a broadcast camera.
That was
They
insane.
put that shit off somebody's
all I
iPhone.
know is you guys were KFC, UFC, LeBron and Fub, LeBron
You
and Fub.
literally said that yourself. What are you talking about, bro? Oh my.
And now we're down 3-1.
Now it's weird down 3-1.
Yeah.
Now, since when are you a Laker fan?
Because I bet the series and I bet every game.
Oh
You guys
my
were so
God,
confident.
bro.
You guys are making it seem like you're gonna beat the. beat
Lakers
the-
in 7.
Oh my God. Lakers in 7.
Give me Lakers
We
in
still have
7.
hope. Get
Lakers
it
in
done.
7.
Hey, from the last episode or 2 episodes ago, we had Malik saying that Playoff Jimmy is the biggest fraud in the NBA. Playoff Jimmy goes out there and leads the Warriors to a victory over the Rockets when Steph is having a stinker the last game. They are now up 3-1 on the arguably the worst 2 seed of all time. I wish we could have that matchup. That would have been awesome.
God forbid.
They're
We got the fucking
regular season
Timberwolves.
merchants.
Yeah, Gino is the head of the Şengün fan club. They are the Şengüners. So
I refuse to even know what that is.
Gino is a big Rockets guy now.
I don't even know
I
who
heard
that
you're a
is.
Shengun.
Gino is a fan of every team in the West as of now. So
All I know, since we're bringing up past episodes, when the trade deadline episode happened, I said the Jimmy Butler trade is the best trade of the whole entire
no,
year.
you didn't. We will make
Go back
sure
on that
we
and
will
flip
make
it.
sure to bring that up because you definitely said the opposite.
Quick pause for 10 seconds while the clip plays.
Gino, what do you think?
Doesn't turn the needle for me. The Warriors this year, reminiscent of the Braves of last year, just one of the great teams that just has a shit season and they ain't doing nothing. But the year after that, they could probably win it. like he's like almost like a Luka, where he could pass, score, rebound. So Jimmy on that team, I think is one of the most slept on deadline moves I ever heard, bro. This could go down as number one deadline.
Definitely said the opposite.
Don't know what he said, but we'll find out.
Hey, we clipping that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rockets, they're a little early. I think that if they go out and get a guy, like we said, if they trade for a Kevin Durant with that young core going forward, they could be a problem. But as of now, they're just not ready.
I think they're good. It's just Draymond's been kicking all their players in the nuts the whole time.
Oh, he's
what's up with that dude?
That's what he does.
How people like, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's annoying, but how people are still falling for Draymond shit is incredible.
I don't get
like
it.
I see Jalen Green crashing out. I'm like, bro, that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Literally exactly what he's trying to do.
Like every sport, no matter what, there's that one guy on the team that just tries to mess up, get in your head, and they're letting it happen.
That shit is funny. It's like when Dylan Brooks meets the real final boss. You thought you were fucking annoying. I promise you.
Charizard.
Yeah.
And Dylan Brooks is Charmander.
Yeah, facts. Like you thought you were annoying. He's like, bro, I can do this shit with you all day. He's like, but I'll really like Draymond will take it. He'll slap you on the ass or like and he'll do some pause. He'll do something crazy.
The funniest one is not the last game, but I believe the one before. He fouled somebody and they called the foul, and the same thing happened to him on the other end, and instead of like actually playing the game, he just sprinted directly after the ref and it was just screaming in his face until he got a tech. And I was like, that's the hardest, most Draymond shit I've ever seen. Just direct course to the ref. It was hilarious.
He's hilarious.
If Steph didn't play with him for years already, he would not put up with that, but he's probably so used to it, he like doesn't even pay attention.
And Steph knows, I think, deep down that like it works. It works.
It definitely does.
It always
100%.
fucking works. So the funniest video this year of Draymond, hands down, is when I forgot who they were playing, but he's in the post and he's elbowing the dude, and the ref's like, Draymond, relax. He's like, call it then. And the ref's like, call it, and Draymond's like, yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Oh God.
Never go full Draymond.
Never go full Draymond.
He was like, yeah. I was like, bro.
He is hilarious, bro.
I mean, it's probably fine in the playoffs. That's probably the place for it, but
Oh yeah, because bro, they're letting them boys play. I'll say that. They're not. They need to decide what's a foul and what's not, but it's definitely competitive. Like, we love playoff basketball. I wish the Lakers could.
That actually reminds me of LeBron in this series saying, "Oh, now you want to call that bullshit?" And then Ant was like, "That's a tech." He's like, "If I say that, that's a tech." Like, what the fuck? Like, bro,
and the ref literally walked over to Ant and said, "That's LeBron. You gotta be quiet."
That's
now.
LeBron. Onto the most competitive series I would say so far, the Nuggets and the Clippers. The last game ends in 0.1 seconds with Jokic throwing up a air ball, Aaron Gordon being there to catch the air ball and alley-oop it as time expires. Insane end to the game. Probably one of the most insane endings to a game I've ever seen. Bro literally caught an airball alley-oop to win the game.
And then barely got his hand in like on time.
It was crazy, bro. Look at that. The shuffle to the air. Bro, it was crazy.
I mean, it's a dunk buzzer beater. I think that's only the second dunk buzzer beater since that one happened last year, right? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember exactly what
look
you're
up
talking about,
dunk buzzer beaters in the playoffs.
No, but that was absolutely insane. I have never, I mean, maybe you're saying it happened last year, but me personally, I don't remember seeing anything like that ever.
I feel like I've seen like,
except for maybe back in the day with,
there was one.
I feel like I've seen like the tap-in ones where they get it above.
Yeah.
The center just like taps it. I don't know if I've seen a dunk, but I'm sure it's happened before. Like, there's zero world where I think this is the first time for basketball. Shout out to Aaron Gordon though. God, I can't. It's so hard for me to not make a joke.
They almost blew the game, too. The Nuggets were up by 20 and then let the Clippers come back, and that's how it ended. So it was a crazy
You can't let the Clippers come back. It's funny. The two teams that always come back against each other is
Literally.
hilarious. He's going to go down to the wire.
Look up 2 dunk buzzer beaters in NBA history. There's only 2, I think.
While he's looking that up.
But I was going to say.
There we go.
My.
The Clippers lose to DeAndre Ayton, who also had a dunk buzzer beater.
From Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
From Jay Crowder.
What could have been for the Suns?
Yeah, they shouldn't have traded Ayton. Like, what are you doing?
Let's see this play.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I definitely remember that.
Hey, I'm schooling y'all on NBA now. Look at me.
This is back when
2021.
Wasn't Chris Paul on this team? Yeah, Chris Paul was definitely on this team, I believe.
Damn, they had DeMarcus Cousins.
That's a minute ago.
Marcus Cousins, but shout out
But
to
that was
Aaron Gordon.
the only exactly 2 years ago, and I think that was the only second one ever.
Yeah,
But even that was with 0.9, not with 0.1. So that was the 0.1 was a little crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Live, I thought that Aaron Gordon buzzer beater was not gonna stand up, but then once I saw it in the replay slow mo, I was like, oh, it's good.
Yeah, AG, proud of you, boy. You got to do, he has to do one thing a year to keep his yearly Serbia invite going so he can pull up to see Jokic. No, AG's a beast. I'm just talking shit. I just cracking jokes. Aaron Gordon, but shout out to Aaron Gordon, bro. Aaron Gordon is dope. He's a really good player. Yeah, great play. Fuck the Nuggets and the Clippers, but shout out to AG.
Fuck them both. On to the Pacers and Bucks. Shout out Dame, man. Dame goes down with a torn Achilles. Never want to see that. Get well soon, man. 35 years old, small guard with an Achilles tear that doesn't.
Can I completely destroy the Bucks, or
doesn't tend to
not
be
right
too.
now?
You want to destroy the Bucks after you pick them for every bet you've taken? So
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Why would you trade Drew Holiday when you won a championship with him? And then what does Drew Holiday do? Go win a championship. So why are you trading a two-time NBA Finals champion for Dame Lillard, who doesn't play defense? It's
Well,
just
at the time he was a one-time, but I get what you're saying.
yeah, and then also it's just like Dame, he makes $65 million a year, so it's gonna kill your cap. It's just the Bucks front office needs to be fired after this and try to tear down and get good players to save Giannis leaving.
I want to say they just
2027.
extended their GM as well.
Yeah, it's like the Giants of the NBA for me right now.
Yeah, the bets aren't looking too well for Gino. He owes a couple people some 18 packs going forward. So
Get well soon, Dame.
yeah,
Giannis,
get well soon, Dame.
Giannis to LA is going to be sick, so we'll
For
see
sure,
you soon.
2027.
Yep,
It's
so
happening.
that'll be nice. So,
The Thunder sweep the Grizzlies and the Cavs sweep the Heat, as we knew it was going to happen.
I seen Ja said, he's like, I had him figured out.
Yeah. Until he got hurt. Yeah, I saw that as well.
And I feel bad for bro, but y'all wasn't winning shit.
I feel like Ja thought he was like the new dude in the NBA, and then they said, "You met Shea before?" And then
have you met
swept
Ant?
his ass.
Have you met Ant before? Ant is the face.
So I'm
before
down to
Ja.
see some Thunder for his Wolves, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I am too.
I mean, Luka's there too. I'd say those are the top three.
Our
in the
next
West.
round, whoever wins our series would play the Rockets or what is looking like the Warriors. So,
So all y'all gotta do is beat the Wolves, and you got a cupcake matchup.
the Wolves are gonna kick the shit out of the Warriors.
Yeah, no. So would the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure.
The more and more that,
You can't win a
I'm
ship
watching
on
this playoffs,
Steph and
the more I feel like
Draymond.
we're going to get a really boring ass end result.
Yeah.
Especially if the Lakers get eliminated.
Hey, if Ant wins though, I wouldn't be mad at Ant winning.
They're
I can't
not-
lie.
they're not
I fuck
winning.
with Ant.
They're not
No,
winning.
they're not. They're not beating the Celtics.
Cavs are winning.
The Celtics are definitely winning. Speaking of the Celtics, the Magic are putting up a fight against the Celtics, but we all know how that's going to end. So, on to other news in terms of the NBA. Peyton Pritchard is announced as the sixth man of the year. Shout out Peyton Pritchard.
Shout out
guard out of
PP.
Oregon. Good job. I hate the Celtics, but good for you, bud. And Stephon Castle wins the Rookie of the Year for the Spurs, second player in back-to-back years. The Celtics end up winning
Oh
by
my
30.
God. Thank God
Magic
I
are done.
Yeah. As I was saying,
Hey, shout out to Paulo and them. Nah. Shout out Paulo and them for making
good
us
one.
win up
Paulo's a
again.
dog for sure.
Fucking demon. Shout out to friends. Shout out to all of Germany. You're
Shout
really
out-
doing
shout out
something
all
over
Germany. But as I was saying, the Spurs have back-to-back Rookie of the Years with Stephon Castle. Do not let Cooper Flag go to the Spurs. Whatever draft lottery bullshit happens with them balls, do not let it be the Spurs.
I feel like
please.
you're jinxing it more and more every time you say it.
Yeah, I know. But that would be absolutely insane. Wemby, Stephon Castle, and Cooper Flag,
It'd be some bullshit. And De'Aaron Fox, bro.
and De'Aaron Fox.
If Cooper Flag goes to the Spurs, I will just say on record that the NBA is rigged at this point.
It's of course
Yeah.
rigged.
But it's
The
like
NHL is rigged.
Braun was
The
rigged to
NBA is
Cleveland.
rigged. Anything with a lottery is rigged. That's the whole point of a lottery, so the league can make money.
Yeah, it's a fact.
They're selling lottery tickets.
Hey, D Rose to the Bulls.
I mean,
Braun to the Cavs.
Then Wemby conveniently.
Wemby to the Spurs.
When all of France is a fucking. Come on.
Yeah, we all know how it goes over there. Adam Silver, you ain't fooling nobody.
Like what?
Regard to the Blackhawks, even though the Ducks had the highest odds.
Thanasis.
Hey, shout out Thanasis. That's what's wrong with the Bucks. You need the glue guy.
Yeah, fucking stupid. It's like the Phillies with Stubbs. You get rid of it. You get rid of the locker room, dude. Look what happens, man.
Phillies with Stubbs.
They shouldn't have sent Stubbs down.
Hey, shout out Stubbs. We're like a Stubbs pod. I've been keeping track. We brought him up at least 6 times already. On
Shout out to Stubbs, man.
Yeah, man. USC boy. We already know.
Shout out to Stubbs for Ipe.
Yeah, moving on to NHL playoffs. We have the Kings tied 2-2 with the Edmonton Oilers. It could have been a sweep, but in the third game, they decided to challenge a call that resulted in a power play, and the Edmonton Oilers got a goal off of that, scoring 2 goals in about the span of 11 seconds to take a 5-4 lead. In the last game, the Kings were up 3-1 in the third period, I believe. End up blowing that lead in the final 30 seconds because they couldn't clear the puck. And Draisaitl wins it in overtime. Not a great look for the guys who should be moving on. Now we got to deal with McJesus tied up 2-2 going back to LA.
The whole game plan for the Kings has to be do not go on the power play with the best power play team. And how have they lost those?
Power plays? I don't know what their coach was thinking challenging a goal after it was called. They literally went and reviewed it and said it's a goal, and then you're going to challenge it afterwards that then leads to a power play. It's the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that was possible, to be honest.
I didn't either.
Good luck with McJesus. He's Canadian, not American.
That's how it feels because it's.
and Draisaitl's what?
Hey, German. They're doing something over there.
Germany.
They're doing something over there.
They're doing something.
and then Bouchard has some crazy stat going, like highest score rate for a defenseman in playoffs. He's like right behind the guy that's in first right now, like barely. So
yeah,
you never want to face the Oilers in playoffs, as the Kings know. They've knocked them out about 3 or 4 years in a row now.
Yeah.
They got to play some defense in the third period.
Can't keep giving them chances, bro. You can't give McJesus chance after chance after chance. It's not going to work out well.
They're not going to quit. They're not going to stop.
No. Not going to work out too well for you. Last game, Panthers versus Lightning. Aaron Ekblad is suspended for 2 games for his hit on Brandon Hagel, who exited the game after the hit. The Panthers are up 3-1. So with those 2 games being suspended, I would just go ahead and lose the first game on purpose, seeing as you're up 3-1. You got it handled pretty well. And win the next one, and going into the round after that, you don't have to deal with the suspension. Just get it out the way now.
I mean, you're obviously not going to lose the first game.
No, of course not. But
let's try to win a few games. Maybe you lose one. Most likely you lose one, and then you're good to go. Panthers were in the finals last year.
They won. Yeah.
So, they got a lot of momentum. I like them going forward.
Hell yeah.
They did the finesse. They put Kachuk on the DL, IL, whatever you want to call it, and then they brought in Marchand.
Yep, we discussed that.
They finessed their roster, and they loaded up for playoffs.
Yep. On to another team. Ovi and the Caps are up 3-1 on the, as Milan would say, the Americans. Or the Canadians, as we would say.
Are we a Caps pod, or are we just an Ovi pod?
We're an Ovi pod.
Ovi pod.
Shout out Ovi.
Huge.
Huge.
Ovi pod.
Some would say the biggest.
No, OVO.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Kings fan, but when it comes to Ovi, that's my favorite player. So definitely big Ovi pod. On to another sport. Today was the beginning of the semifinals of Champions League. PSG goes out there and handles Arsenal 1-0. Gino's team, the Premier League killers, they have beat all 4 English teams in the tournament this year.
Hey, Cole, who has PSG taken down in the Champions League from the Premier League? Who is ass?
Are you asking, or is that rhetorical?
No, who has PSG taken down from the Premier League?
I just said all 4 teams.
Name them for the viewers.
Man City, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and now Arsenal. They haven't taken down Arsenal.
They're up 1-0.
It's 1-0 on aggregate. We still have another leg next week, so we'll see how that goes.
All we got to do is win by 1.
But they have beaten all 4 of the English teams in the tournament this year.
And you know why? Because the
Dembele! That boy scores again in the 4th minute.
Hey, this is my new celly. Hey.
Yeah,
Shout out to Atletico.
Someone's talking about
Atletico
English football, soccer,
Madrid.
whatever you want to call it again. This guy hit him with the Dembele.
Dembele!
I love it.
Shout out to Atletico Madrid for winning 3-0 against whoever the fuck they played.
That was in league.
I just googled it. I just googled them. And their most recent game was 3-0.
Atletico Madrid versus
They
PSG
probably played
at
Getafe or some
Rose Bowl.
shit.
I was gonna remember some names to shout out, but they were too hard to pronounce.
Oh my god!
I'm not remembering that.
Oh shit! That is too.
Hey, bro, they're playing PSG in June or July at the Rose Bowl in the FIBA Club World Cup.
We have to go.
I will not be attending.
I mean, I just don't want to go to Pasadena.
I am not going to preseason soccer, bro. That is.
I thought it was the FIBA World Cup or whatever
No,
for clubs.
bro. They don't give a fuck about that shit.
Okay, well, I'm not going to Pasadena anyways, so.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have Barca versus Inter. Barca is coming off a win over Real Madrid this past weekend to take the Copa del Rey. They are still have a chance at winning the treble in Hansi Flick's first year. He did the same at Bayern. The treble would be winning your league, winning Champions League, and winning your league's in-season tournament. Okay. So not many teams have done that. Hansi Flick being the manager of Barcelona's team, like I said, did that at Bayern. So I believe he would be, I don't know if he's the only coach to do that, but definitely historical if he pulls that off.
Historical.
Very historical.
Hey, Brett, can you pull up the odds for Barca Inter? Let's see if we could figure out some value here. I mean, because Barca is going to win the series for sure, but
I believe Inter's coach came out and said that he was much more worried about Bayern than he was about Barca, which is kind of crazy to say.
Barca is a minus 155?
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! I like that minus 155, bro. I mean, is that not great value? Am I crazy for thinking that's crazy?
No, definitely not.
That's good.
I think that'll be a good match tomorrow for sure.
All right, I'm banging that. You'll see the results after when the pod comes out. It'll already be done. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I believe that Barca will handle business, but we'll see what Lautaro Martinez has to say about that, as he is the captain and striker for Inter and has scored in. It seems like every single match I see him play, he scores. So,
I'm just getting romantic right now about Barca PSG finals. Ooh, man, we're gonna take.
Wow, Milan says wow. Milan is enthused for sure.
Sounds crazy.
Hopefully, I got him a little horny right there. I don't know.
Shout out to Atletico
Or at least
Madrid.
aroused. I don't know.
Milan keeps shouting Atletico, even though they're not in a chance to win anything.
We beat Rayo Vallecano.
And they played
3-0.
Shout out Simeone, man.
They play
Shout out to
PSG in
Simeone.
LA. We'll tell Milan it's for the World Cup, and then we'll mob.
Yeah.
They're gonna be so confused. It's gonna be like a preseason game. They're like, why is this dude so drunk in the stands, getting so excited?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, Dembele.
And let it go.
On to baseball news. We have Glasnow, every year occurrence going on the IL. Not a great look with shoulder inflammation. The Dodgers have 8 pitchers on the IL now, so that is great news.
Yeah,
we have Gonsolin coming back this week, so Catman's a plus, but definitely not Glasnow, but we'll take it.
We got Kershaw coming back soon, so we're about to have.
Gramps is coming back.
4
That's gonna be sick for y'all.
4
Hell
or
yeah.
5
That's gonna be awesome.
out of 10.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. We have 8 pitchers.
Roki,
on the IL.
Yama, Catman, Dustin May, and then when Kershaw comes back, we'll have 5, and then Ohtani will be in a few months. That'll be 6. So if all of them can stay healthy for the playoffs,
They won't.
and then somehow you get Snell and Glasnow back,
They won't.
which is likely, we should be looking good. We only care about October. We ain't worried about April. Shout out.
Facts.
Yeah, I genuinely like. So you'll never hear me.
The
And no
Angels
matter who
genuinely
it is,
won't be there in October.
You're funny. I'll never like. There's never gonna be a time, no matter how I feel about a team, that I'm excited about someone getting hurt. So I say this with no pleasure, but I told y'all.
That's why we have.
I
10.
told you how many starts did Glasnow get before he got hurt? Did he get over 6? I think my over under was 6.
It might have been 6.
It might have been 6. But get well soon, and I'd say for y'all, obviously, it's better to just get it out the way now than let him come back and actually be able to play, and then do it like game later. He always gets hurt end of the season, so at least he'll be able to have a chance to maybe pitch in the playoffs. Like you said, shout out to Gramps. He's the GOAT, but at this point, Kershaw is just Gramps. Grandpa Kershaw.
Are you talking about the guy with the best ERA ever like that?
Oh, he's the GOAT, but at this point, he's collecting a participation trophy.
I mean, he's a guy that can come into the playoffs. He might not be your second or third or fourth starter.
Or 5th or 6th.
No, for sure your 5th or your 4th or your 5th, but those games where you're up by a lot, Ohtani hits 3 grand slams, and then you bring Kershaw on. He'll throw 4 or 5 innings and eat up those innings.
Right.
And
Just
he got to be a piece.
Right,
He'll be a
it's-
piece.
It's totally fine because when he comes in, you guys are up 7-1. So when he comes out at 7-6, it's like you still get the win. Who cares if he gives up those 5 runs in 5 innings?
It's crazy. You're talking about a guy that has the lowest ERA ever and 2 World Series like that.
And an MVP.
I'm not saying that Clayton
MVP,
Kershaw
and how many
isn't.
Cy Youngs?
I'm not saying that
Cy
Clayton
Youngs.
Kershaw isn't the GOAT. Kershaw is like one of the few Dodgers that I have a shit ton of respect for. I just don't think he can pitch anymore. I don't know why
No,
he
he's still
needs to
good.
retire.
He's still good.
Just retire. It's cool. You are the GOAT. It's fine.
This is his last year, and he is.
Shit
still
feels
good.
like watching Jordan on the Magic, like stand in the corner, like bro, just fucking.
All
Or not on the
right,
Magic.
Moving off of the Dodger hate.
Moving Magic? No, the Wizards.
the Wizards,
bro.
Wizards, Magic.
Close enough.
It's nothing
Magic
like
is
that.
associated
Close
with
enough.
Wizards.
Yeah. Moving off of the Dodger hate, we're on to Eugenio Suarez has a 4-tank game for the D-backs. Only the 19th player to ever do that in MLB history.
Shout out Josh Hamilton.
Less players have done that than throw a perfect game at 24 perfect games, which is a hell of a stat. With that, they end up losing the game.
No, he only had 5 RBI.
Yeah.
4 homers, 5 RBI.
Yeah. And they lose 7
You
to
need
6.
to come to the Angels. That's exactly what we do over there. Nothing but
but
solo bomb.
Shout out Gino Suarez. He goes out there and 4 home run game.
beast.
That's a hell of a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of hating on him for going with the nickname Gino, but then Cole told me that everyone calls him that, so I'm like, all right, I'll give him the pass.
Yeah, he gives him
Yeah.
the Gino pass.
You're lucky because you could have ended up like Bryce Mitchell.
But yeah, he was the first to 10 tanks. I mean, Cal Raleigh since tied him up with 10. So I like watching the home run leads. I mean, you got guys like Mikey Trout with like 8 or 9. He's hitting like 160,
Yeah,
170.
what is he hitting? What's his batting average?
Well, he's hitting 170, but his OPS is still like 900 because his slug or
170.
Are you looking at me?
Yes, I'm looking at you. 170.
Yeah,
Mike
he
Trout's
ain't
there to
crazy.
hit. Mike Trout's there to hit tanks. It's on the rest of the team to get on base.
That's
Mike
crazy.
Trout's not here to hit singles. We're either like 170 makes sense because we're going for home run every time. He might hit some fly balls. It's fine. Shout out Mikey
Hey,
Trout.
I guess being below the Mendoza line is acceptable now. So.
You can do whatever. If Creighton Kershaw's still allowed to pitch in the MLB, Mike Trout can do whatever the fuck he wants. I'm sorry.
I'm not mad at that take.
Hey,
I fuck
not
with Clayton
mad.
just like
Hey,
I fuck with Trout. They
I'm not mad at
both
that.
earn the right to go out there and put up whatever stats they
Hit
want.
170 with
I
30 takes.
got a question for y'all. If Trout is still hitting 170 in May, June, July, still hitting tanks at the same rate, he all-star?
No. Of course not. You can't be an
Nah.
all-star hitting 170.
They won't give it to him.
170, 20 tanks? Or 10 tanks? I don't know.
No.
Depends on our record. If we're
Well, your record's going to be shit, so we know the answer.
Well, I don't agree.
Yeah, with that being said, I guess Trout and Kershaw can go ahead and do whatever they want, seeing as they are 2 GOATs of the sport. And I'll try and not make too much fun of Mike Trout for hitting 170. As long as we're hitting tanks, we're good.
So 17 is my favorite number.
That cashes bets. So as long as he's in tanks for cashing bets, it's all right.
I mean, with all those HGH gummies in the dugout during the game, like you gotta get that average.
HGH gummies.
He never got caught. You know, him and Harper both are exempt from getting tested for some
If
reason.
Shohei's allowed to gamble, Mike Trout's allowed to eat gummies.
Hey, with that being said, that'll wrap up this week's episode of Bias Sports Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate everyone that watches. From me and the boys, perfect timing. They done swap seats. We got B Philly on production.
Shout out B Philly.
Shout out B Philly. Shout out the Birds. Hey, shout out Howie. Hey, with that being said, we will see you next week. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.
Chee wee wee.
Chee wee wee.